Hello everybody, hope you're doing well. Welcome to the first video of Thursday. Now, I'm a little bit behind with getting a lot of these kind of side quest based videos complete, and it's just because I'm attending and doing a few interviews this week, so yeah, more focus on those particular things. But I wanted to finish off the side quest guide spreadsheet with some final kind of infographics, and we look at the defenders being revealed. So, following on from the team setups advice, which obviously there's tons. I could have put up to 40 to 50 different team configurations based on community feedbacks. Thanks to everybody that that came to the community tab and also helped out with creating actually there was two. I knew most of the bosses you faced off against, but I had about 3 questions about some of the champions on different nodes. So first of all, thanks to the community, great community that we have to kind of help out with kind of creating these infographic spreadsheets and stuff like that. You can check out the link in the description, but we're going to be going over this. And yeah, some of the top MVPs that players are using are the likes of Dr. Doom, Hercules, Archangel, Hulkling, Human Torch, Kitty Pryde, Venom, to name but a few. But as I said, there are tons, and there could be hundreds of different configurations depending on how many people that actually played the quest. And some people did say to me, "Oh Rich, you can check out who the mystery champions are by quite simply clicking onto the quest, and then you'll be able to click on the question mark and it comes up with the champion." Yes, that is very good, and you should definitely do that if you're looking to preview and prepare for the quest. You can check out some of the champions, but I'd already completed it, and the problem with doing it was just I thought to myself, I have to do this because I wanted to get this done because I've got so many things on at the moment. By the end of it, I was just my eyes just crossed over and it was just bleh. Because after a while, when you do 18 runs kind of back to back, not 18 runs, 15 runs back to back, it becomes very boring and everything just goes But surprisingly enough, most of the champions, there was about 2, 3, maybe 3 champions I did not face off against. I think it was Cat Wilson, Penny Parker, and one other champion which I can't remember, but yeah, this was a quest. Yeah, you can find out some of the champions that are going to appear on the route, but it's always good to feel that you're in the know and prepared for all of the champions you're facing off against. This is why that I've added into the tab. So if you go to the link in the description, which is the spreadsheet that I created for this month's side quest, at the bottom there is under best teams for side quest, which does have it there, best teams, defenders revealed. So you scroll down and they've got defenders revealed. This is something that I want to get to a point of curating in the future. It's just a case of I'm not quite sure where my kind of time is going to be best suited on stuff because I'm doing so many different things for the channel. But I want to try and create stuff like this, especially evolve my Thronebreaker guides on a monthly basis to retain these kind of images and stuff and find a good way that's good on time that I can get them out to. Any case, to the point. Yeah, so node 1, we've got Red Goblin, Carnage, Miss Marvel, Kamala Khan, Venom, and Spider-Man Symbiote. And again, this one is very much going to be a case of choose your best kind of champion for this. Is it going to be a Mystic based champions? I personally use Mystic because I kind of felt that it was easier to deal with the situation, whether or not you're using the likes of Symbiote Supreme. But I would say team creation is so important. You may find yourself saying, okay, well, I could use Dr. Doom for node 1, but also I could use it for node 5. The same way you could say to yourself, well, if I use Symbiote Supreme, for example, on node 1, I can also use them on node 5 as well. And that's something I think is very important to get into that process. Once you prepare and know which champions are on which paths, you can make that preparation and go, right, as we say in the UK, double bubble. I don't know if you say that anywhere else in the world, but yeah, it's double bubble. Kill 2 birds with 1 stone, any saying like that. On node 2, you've got yourself Spider-Man 2099, Doc Ock, Doctor Strange, Cat Wilson, and Rhino. For this, I used Archangel. Archangel, for me, does about 3 fights, which is really good. When you've got a champion that gives you extra value for money, again, double bubble and all that stuff, I think that's just ideal. Neurotoxins end up just shutting down any kind of damage and taking on some of the champions, especially on node 3. it was a reason, because my Hercules was another content, and I do like using Hercules, but again, this comes to a point where I started off using Hercules, but then thought to myself, well, I don't really want to use him all the time. He spends a lot of time in other content. He is a great help in limiting down any kind of spend in kind of like AQ. So I'm like, it makes more sense for him to be used in AQ. And with his SP1 having a good true sense, which allows him to take on miss and auto block, means that opens up for Node 5. Because Node 5, I've jumped the gun, we'll talk about Node 4 in a minute. Node 5 does have Gimme Shelter, which has, is it Gimme Shelter? It's one of these. No, Celestial Fortitude. So that has, is it Celestial Fortitude? It's one of these ones where they're auto-blocking. I've probably read it out and I've not kind of like twigged on it. No, it was right. Gimme Shelter. Anyway, Gimme Shelter has auto-block. So if you can SP1 rotate, parry heavy, parry heavy, parry heavy, SP1, you're able to counter that auto-block. And the problem is with you hitting into a block, it means you get explosive personality and boom, it's not too pleasant for you. So there's options. You can either go miss or auto block counter for this one, but when you got certain champions that build as part of their kit, like Vulture, not Mysterio, but there's certain champions that build armor as their part of their kit. You can either go, oh, I'll use something like Medusa, and I kind of felt that in the end, stagger champions work just as well. So stagger champions, armor break champions. You could use Hercules with Captain America to get that armor break, or any kind of champion that, you know, Doctor Doom with Mr. Fantastic. But the thing that I was finding is that I had all my champions for a purpose, and thing is, you could always look at it from a point of view and going, okay, so here was my team. To just jump the gun, my team was this. I used Iceman because I felt that he was most essential for Node 4, and that was fine. I felt that was kind of a great option, but it didn't need to be the case, and I could shift that out for any other different type of option or champion. The same thing with Overseer. Overseer is there as my rank 5 6-star that just helps out, and that's the thing. Helping out with kind of doing more damage, mitigating damage through the block is a key thing, especially when it comes to threat level 5. But yeah, going into that Node 4 territory where you face up against Taskmaster, Kingpin, Nick Fury, Black Cat, and Kate Bishop, I felt that as long as I didn't hit Kate Bishop when she was stunned, I was fine, and I could just let it kind of hit into my block. This is why Iceman was kind of like a cool option for that, but there are better options. Just don't hit her while stunned. I think that's a no-brainer with it. All the other champions can be dealt with quite easily, the same way that you could do Kingpin with an SP1 rotation. All the other champions, as long as you keep them to SP1s, you shouldn't have any worries with it. But yeah, Kate Bishop and Black Cat. I did have any problems here. No, I think Kate Bishop was a problem because I forgot to, I think my first time facing off against her in a while was like, don't hit while she's stunned, and you should be fine. But yeah, quickly going back to Node 3, because you're facing off against the likes of Black Widow and Craven. Black Widow's not too bad as long as you get a good rotation in with whatever champion you're using, because she does evade. Miles, you've got to watch out for specials because he will do miss, but then you need miss counters, which you can do with Celestial Vision. Again, it's up to you who you use. You could use the likes of Odin, which has as part of his kit a True Strike, which could be helpful against that is evade and auto block. I think that's right. Oh, am I getting confused with true? No, I think it is. But yeah, I could have got that wrong. You've got to have a special packed, special kind of like SP1, SP2 as soon as you put into a trap, if you are trapped. But I did find that it was tough. You got to play into diversion. It's either miss counters or go a different route with it. Actually, no, it's true accuracy. That's it, true accuracy. That's the one that deals with auto block. So many things to think about. Sometimes you're like, okay, well, I'll put this one because this has this has this. So it's up to you how you play into that one. I think I'm not going to go into another guide because it's all about revealing the mystery champions, but you just got to be prepared to have champions that cover all different types of things. Utility is key in this one. Power control, miss counter, auto block counter, all those things, staggers, maybe, again, down to personal preference, how you choose to take things on. And then we go into the final two nodes, node 6, right? Node 6 is, it's easy to do. if you've got the right champions. There's going to be some which I think that go into the skill line. Doesn't see that they're like the only champion options, but if you go into the skill line, and especially to the likes of Nick Fury, you've got yourself Moleman, Blade, kind of, but I feel that with a lot of spider-based champions that evade, some other evaders, there's some evaders there that would do fine to have. Nick Fury, I didn't decide to take my Nick Fury because I felt I had other options for it, but yeah, you could do Spider-Man, well, not this Spider-Man for this node, but you need something, yes, that bleeds and deals with evade. Maybe Aegon if you ramped it up, but again, it's just down to a personal preference, what you see fit. Venom is another kind of like key and interesting option because the champion does bleed. It does deal with spider-based champions, and it's just the case, again, this is this double bubble, triple bubble, when you're looking at things like, okay, well, he can do node 6, he can do node 3, and he can do a few other nodes as well. It's just largely down to like where you see him fitting in. Could be good against node 1, quite possibly, maybe not. Again, down to a personal preference on that particular matter. On node 7, depending on what you like and what you dislike, because that's the thing, you have different preferences of what you like or dislike. For me, I found that my major issue was the AI's receptiveness to come at me, which meant it limited down my intercepts. And I would say in this particular regard, if you can't get your intercepts in well, you've got to deal with Newton's Law. Newton's Law is unstoppable, so you've got to find champions that are slow debuff champions. But I found that I was just doing this with Human Torch, and to a lesser degree the likes of Archangel, by building up my poisons, doing the occasional little neurotoxin, and waiting out the timer. But it's down to you how you want to go take that on. But anyway, to cut to the chase, video is going to end now. Just to say, go and check out the link in the description, where I've done an update to this particular guide. And yeah, check out some other content located on the screen. Have a lovely day, whatever you're doing. Thanks to everybody that got involved with the community tab, and I'll see you all soon. Much love and goodbye.